Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to Retold, a Harry Potter podcast, a show for Potter fans of all sorts to tune in and have fun living in the wizarding world just a little more. My name is Barry, and every week I sit down with a new guest host and we go through the Harry Potter books 2 chapters at a time, highlighting our favorite lines, movie changes, and deep lore. Well, usually we do that, but today is different. We have just recently finished our coverage of Book 2, The Chamber of Secrets, and just like we did with Book 1, we are having a Best of Book 2 episode. Yay! So, what are you about to hear, dear listener? Well, in this episode, you will hear me and 2 previous hosts, longtime friends of mine, Emily and Jonathan, discuss some of our favorite things about Book 2. We'll talk about our favorite lines, favorite chapters, characters, movie changes, and so much more. I really hope you guys enjoy the discussion. Just some house self-keeping things before we start. First, just so you know the schedule, this week is the Best of Book 2 episode. Next week is our Impossible Book 2 Jeopardy episode. A lot of people really liked Book 1. I loved it. The Jeopardy episode we did for that, so we've brought it back for next week. And then the week after that, Emily and I will be discussing a Harry Potter fan fiction. Ooh, what fan fiction, Barry? Well, that's the thing, dear listener. I still don't know. There's even a point in this episode where I say that I will come back in and let y'all know what it is. But sadly, I cannot do that because I still don't know what it is. My apologies. I am working on it, though. Anyway, yeah, this week, Best of Book 2. Next week, Jeopardy. The next week, fan fiction. And then we will take 1 week off before we begin our Book 3 coverage. And I cannot wait for you guys to hear some of the guests we have lined up for Book 3. Like I've said before, the podcast is growing. It's getting more attention, and I can't thank you guys so much. And we're going to be able to have a lot of cool new people on too. So thank you so much for sharing it with people and putting it out there. If you've been doing that, it means a lot. I appreciate it. Anyway, another thing to mention is that during the fan fiction episode in 2 weeks, I will also be reading off messages from you guys, answering questions, reading comments, all that good stuff. So please send in your messages to theretoldpodcast@gmail.com. And finally, last house self-keeping thing for this episode, we do find out, I know you've been wondering, is Barry going to get to it? Yes, I'm going to get to it. We do find out who wins the Quizzitch title for Book 2, me or the world. And I do need to say here that the Quizzitch finale, it was a whole lot of fun. However, it was also very chaotic, and it really comes down to the wire. And I did not forewarn Jonathan and Emily about what to do in case of a tie, and we just sent into a little bit of chaos. And I cut a lot of the extra questions out of that section. You know, I want to use some of them for Jeopardy next week, but also it was just a lot of questions. But you will still hear who won. And if you get annoyed at our craziness, feel free to check the timestamp and skip ahead to that. But I still found our Quizzitch section very enjoyable. It was a whole lot of fun, and big thanks to Emily and Jonathan for participating in that and for representing the world. Anyway, that's all I got. Please, please, please rate and review the show if you can. That helps me out a tremendous amount. Share it with all your Potter friends. And yeah, hope you enjoy the episode.
1, 2, 3. Expelliarmus!
I'll be in my bedroom, making no noise and pretending that I don't exist.
Oh dear, we are in trouble.
Where have you been? You shall not harm Harry Potter. 50 points and it goes to her head.
I strongly recommend caution.
Scared Potter.
You wish.
I didn't know you could read.
I don't even remember how I opened these up. Hello, everybody. Oh, chair's moving. Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to Retold, the podcast where I retell you my favorite story of all time, except not today. Today, we'll be talking about the best of Book 2 of Harry Potter, just to be clear.
Chamber of Secrets.
Chamber of Secrets. And so with me today, I am joined by the lovely Emily.
Hello.
And Jonathan.
Hello.
And just at the top, I want to say to everybody, this is a spoiler-filled episode. It's not, we're not actively seeking it out, but some things will be said quite intentionally so.
We won't hold back.
That's right. That's right.
No
So
limits.
we are literally in the Chamber of Secrets. We're discussing all the secrets. I picture SpongeBob when he's like rubbing his tongue around his mouth. Like,
That's scary Dark Wizard stuff.
That's right. That's right. I think my favorite joke on the pod so far, because I definitely don't listen to my episodes a lot. It's and on my first episode with you, Jonathan, when we come back from the bathroom break, and I said had to go to the wizard's room. I almost said the big wizard's room, and that didn't feel right. And you were like, "Yeah, don't go to the big wizard's room." And now I'm reusing that joke. And how lovely and funny is that, listeners? You enjoyed that, right? Anyway, listeners, here's the thing. I don't have a wonderful cold open like I usually do. I've asked Emily and Jonathan so many get-to-know-you questions already. You know them.
You already know us.
Yeah, their
about us.
Name, birthday, social security, the whole nine. They are both Gryffindors. Somebody might find that interesting. I guess I would say, just as a dumb, quick thing to begin with, for some sort of cold open, would you guys say you have any thoughts about the new series so far? You know, we've been getting a lot of update. I don't often do news on the show because I record so far in advance. Like literally with season 1, it was like months before, and this one it was still
breaking news 3 months ago.
Yeah, so we don't often do we haven't really discussed the series much, but in the last few weeks, there's been a lot of things coming out about like pictures and casting updates, all this stuff. Do you guys just have any thoughts in general about some of the things we've seen?
So far, I don't know. I'm kind of taking this I'm gonna wait and see what happens. I think when they announced it, I was pretty maybe we shouldn't do this because don't fix it if it ain't broke. But they're going ahead with it, which is fine. I think the one thing I am excited about is the constant complaint with the movies is the omission of things that we love and them feeling like they have to take out so much and it's such a skeleton and missing the slice of life kind of bits of Hogwarts. So I'm excited to see that. But I'm also nervous because it's how is this going to live up to the legacy of the original? And I'm also kind of nervous, I think, for these kids because I just don't want to see them catch a lot of flack on the internet because you know how the internet can be.
And I think the trio, Dan, Rupert, and Emma, in the first go around of this, it was before the age of social media. Not to say they didn't get criticisms. I'm sure they got a ton, but they definitely were more protected than these three are going to be. Yeah,
and now they have to live up to something else too. It's not only is it comparison and the age of social media. I will say some of the casting I've been okay, I'm excited.
We got Lord Farquaad as Dumbledore.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how we do with
Lord
the makeup.
Farquaad, really?
Yeah, the guy that does that voice, Jonathan Farajal or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Another Jonathan.
Good stuff. I'm on board.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
I feel similar where we'll see. I'm excited for it in some ways. I think that the pitfall that I fear is, with the way that TV has turned out around these days, everything has to keep you hooked. And it's every episode has to end with this big cliffhanger that makes you forced to watch the next episode. And it's that would be disappointing to me. Because I feel you kind of have to pull the story apart to make it episodic in that way. And it'll just be interesting to see how they do that. And I hope that they do that without, I don't know, cutting things up too much.
Yeah. I think if you treat it a lot like how the chapters are in these books, that could happen. Because a lot of these chapters do follow an arc, and then it just ends with Harry going and telling Ron and Hermione what happened.
Yeah.
And I guess what I'm saying is I feel in the current TV climate that we're in, that's not enough. That's not good enough. It needs to be more gripping.
Yeah.
It can't just be a good conclusion to that episode. It's gotta
hook you in.
I don't know, force you to binge hours and hours and hours of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they could come to the realization that that's what's going to separate this series, make it different, is that we won't do that.
That you just
but you never
faithfully provide the story that is well written.
Yes.
I've been thinking about it a lot of, because a lot of people take issue with this casting or this choice. And the pictures of the new Hagrid came out, the guy from Shaun of the Dead playing Hagrid. And it looks very similar to Robbie. He looks a lot thinner than Robbie's Hagrid and a little more kempt. And my thought was, because I remember there were certain parts of the movies that were very faithfully adapted. I would consider Hagrid being one of those. And I thought, I wonder now with those things, it's not going to feel as good. I feel like with what the movie, with what the TV tries to emulate faithfully, that the movies also emulated faithfully, because it's not going to seem as good to us who have the nostalgia factor for the previous one. So I'm wondering now, I've never been a fan of, hey, let's do a different version. But I'm starting to consider that for certain things. Again, I think it would definitely need to be chosen carefully, but I think there's some play with that for this time around. Saying that, I already hate that coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, kind of.
But I do think after seeing that, I was like, maybe there is some play with that.
But I do think there is some room for balance in, faithfully making a good adaptation of the book and trying to provide distinction from the movies.
Yes.
Not just, it's a super extended edition of the movie, but it's
which that would be fun.
Honestly,
we would love that.
I think what I would love for them to do different is to there's so many more whimsical and silly moments that are in every book, and I would love if they kept that vibe through rather than because the movies followed the darker progression and excluded a lot of the silliness, but there's tons of silly to be had.
Which, to be fair, is difficult to balance in the filmmaking kind of.
Yeah, I don't fault them at all for it. Yeah, don't fault them at all.
So how do you have this actually super dark, intense narrative be interjected with all sorts of shenanigans?
Singing dwarfs. Yeah. But anyway, now that that's out of the way,
hot takes until the next segment.
Yeah. Long story short, I think I'm still super looking forward to the show. Can't wait to see what it does. It's going to keep the Potter conversation going. The only thing I fear would be is if they ruin it, it will really shut down the Potter conversation. I feel that's my only fear.
I'm
not
worried
not not as good as the movie, but
It's
something awful that makes everybody hate it.
Yeah.
But let's take this journey together, y'all. All right, now moving on to our Quizzitch section. Now, before we say it, let me just go ahead and say at the top, listeners, what you're in for this episode. We're about to have our Quizzitch section, and I will explain the deep, deep significance of the Quizzitch section for this episode in just a second. But after the Quizzitch, we will discuss our top 5 favorite lines of the series, maybe with some honorable mentions thrown in too. We'll talk about our favorite chapter of the book. Did I say top 5 of the series? I meant of the book. And then our favorite chapter of this book. The best and worst transfigurations, i.e. movie changes in the Chamber of Secrets book. Our favorite magical creature or item from this book. Our favorite character from this book. And what do we think about when we think of this book? And so those are all the different subjects we'll talk about when we go through this episode. Some of them I told my co-hosts beforehand. Others I didn't. So you will learn in real time with them what they think of some of these things. But anyway, first, we're on the Quizzitch. And so this right here is for all the marbles. The same thing happened that was in the previous book where I don't have a lead. It's all tied up. The score is 19-19. I have 19 correct answers representing myself, and the guests representing the world have 19 correct answers as well. Last time it came down to a half-point difference. Emily was there. She cheered. She wept. It was so amazing to see.
It was really intense.
I listened and said,
And yeah, Jessie messaged me. She said, Jonathan agrees with me. And she's going to be on next week for our Jeopardy episode to defend her title. But it'll be the same as last time with book one. There'll be 4 questions each way to where, I'll ask Jonathan 2 questions. He'll ask me 2. I'll ask Emily 2 questions. She'll ask me 2. And at the end, we'll see who knew the most about this book. Now, this is going to sound really insulting.
Oh,
Please forgive me.
we'll see.
If this sounds so bad, I'm going to cut it. I remember I was talking to Jessie about this beforehand and months ago of like, would you want to be on the best of episode or the Jeopardy episode? And she was like, I'm open to whichever. If I can't do both, what would you need me to? She's very amenable, very helpful like that.
wow, great job, Jessie.
Yeah, great girl, great woman. But anyway, she says that, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't want her on this episode because if it comes down to Quizzitch,
she's going to beat you.
She's going to know more.
And Barry wanted to pick us.
And then when I thought, who would I have the best advantage over?
Yep, it would be me.
Okay.
Yep, I knew it.
And it was truly an awful thing to think. And I asked for your forgiveness.
It's okay.
And,
I know my faults.
Yeah, and I didn't think Jonathan would be near the bottom of the pile, but I didn't think he'd be near the top.
Yeah. So sorry, world.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, so I'm a jerk, but I love you both and appreciate you so much. So don't awe me. I'm disgusting.
Hopefully you won't be appreciating us because we were easy going.
That's right.
Quizzitch.
And we have the Birdie Bots every flavored beans here.
The listener favorite.
That's right.
Yay.
And it's the same bots from season 1.
Questionable of how old it was.
Yeah, that's
before.
part of it.
Yay!
So if we get
Stale expired birdie bots every flavor.
So if you get one wrong, you got to eat. Now, let's get it rocking. Emily, would you like to ask me your question first?
Sure. Okay, let me get my question ready for you.
Not me.
No.
Hermione. You.
Okay. Mr. Barry,
That's me.
please, would you name me at least 2 of the Lockhart books that are named in Chamber of Secrets?
We've got Gadding with Ghouls and Voyages with Vampires. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding,
I
ding,
should have
ding.
made it harder.
Would you mind scooting forward a little bit? Yeah, just to get closer to the mic. You can if you want. You have a loud voice naturally.
Oh, yes. Very soothing.
But yeah, if you wanted to get closer just in case. But anyway, yes. Gadding with Ghouls, Voyages with Vampires. For bonus, I could have said Weekend with Werewolves, Travels with Trolls,
Whatever.
Magical Me.
He studied this.
Yeah.
It's written on his hand.
Your question, Emily.
Okay.
Let's see. You asked me a Lockhart question. I'll ask you a Lockhart question.
Okay.
How many times has Lockhart won Most Charming Smile Award? And I will give you 2 guesses.
6.
No.
10.
No.
Darn it.
Did you know, Jonathan? 5 is correct.
Darn it! Oh my
All
gosh.
right, 1-0.
I was just going on my instinct.
Jonathan?
Okay.
Oh, hey. Girl beat.
Oh, she's
Darn it.
got to bean it up.
Do you want to know what flavor I get?
Sure. We can all look at it.
Pretend it's sandpaper.
Cinnamon.
Yay.
Okay.
Jonathan.
Barry. When Mrs. Weasley approaches the boys after they rescue Harry from the Dursleys,
Mm-hmm.
she is described as resembling what animal?
A lion?
Incorrect.
Nah, what is she described as?
She is described as looking remarkably like a saber-toothed tiger.
Oh.
Same family.
Yeah, but
But wrong.
wrong.
But wrong.
Decidedly wrong.
Decidedly wrong.
Bean.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Oh. They're like
Oh,
hard.
no. That's dirt. Oh, no.
Oh, is it dirt?
Oh, it's earthworm, actually.
Oh. I don't have a flavor palette for what earthworm tastes like.
All right, listeners can't see this, but
Imagine a really stanky face.
do the stanky legs, but with your face. Wow, that's disgusting. Okay, Jonathan, what number death day is it for Nearly Had This Nick? It is his what death day?
Is it 200th?
Nope, but I'll give you a second guess.
400.
500.
Ah!
Man.
In the episode, we joked about 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and it's also the same year that he died.
Oh,
1492.
he didn't make it on the boat.
I didn't make it. I made a reel or a short for YouTube because I'm so socially savvy like that. What did you get, by the way?
I think it's banana.
Very good. Not bad. Describing in detail what happened to him. So I didn't say it on the podcast, but the reason he was beheaded, Nearly Had This Nick, was he worked for like King Henry the Fifth or the Sixth, one of them, and in the royal court. And one day he lived amongst muggles. He liked muggles. One day he's walking along in a garden and he sees a woman and she's complaining about her teeth. So he tries to fix them. She has buck teeth. He tries to fix them with his wand. He accidentally makes them grow massive. So big old beaver teeth. And before he could fix it, like put it back to normal, they took his wand away and he was thrown in jail. He kept promising he would fix, like he could make amends. They said, nope, you a witch. We gonna kill you. And then the headsman forgot to sharpen his axe. And so
Oh, man.
that's why the 42 or 44 strikes, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Emily, your question.
100.
Okay.
1-0, by the way, listeners, just so you know.
How many muggles spotted the flying car?
He says two numbers. He says 6 or 7.
Yeah.
You were seen
Begrudgingly,
by no
yeah.
less than 7 muggles.
Incidentally, that is a question I was asked
Yeah, I asked
on
you.
that chapter.
If you have a backup question,
I don't.
if you have extra questions,
I wish I did.
I can look one up.
if you want, you can. Go for it. I even have the book right here if you wanted to go through it. But we can not count that one since it was already asked.
Barry is full of grace.
Right?
today.
Right? I want no accusations this time around.
Other than choosing the people you could beat.
But I did give you ample warning, all right?
Yeah.
Well, I told Emily yesterday it comes down to this.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No pressure, though.
But let me go ahead. We can just... Jonathan, go ahead and ask your second question.
Yeah. Okay, so we already talked about Lockhart's books a little bit. He clearly loves all of his books.
Clearly.
But which book does he say this about? Possibly my very favorite book.
Oh.
Which is his possible favorite?
Yes, because this is... Hermione comes up to him, and this is when he says it. Weekend with Werewolves?
Incorrect.
Which one was
It is Gadding with Ghouls.
Gadding with Ghouls! No!
Now, to be fair, Lockhart probably would have said that about any book that Hermione said.
Yeah.
But
That's a very cool book cover you have, by the way.
thank you.
Which one is that?
It's a newer British version, Bloomsbury
Ooh, yeah.
print.
We got to take a picture of that.
Actually,
for the listeners when this
it
comes
was
out.
Philosopher's Stone for book 1.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, what in the
Oh, did you
world?
get a collection of it?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so I got that. Let me ask you your second question
Yeah.
then.
I'm not going to forget about your bean, though.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about it, obviously. Now that's probably dirt. Expired dirt? This box has definitely been open for a minute.
Damn it.
Okay, but I don't hate it. Jonathan, your second question. I'm going to go with What year is Oliver Wood in this book?
Pretty sure he's a 5th year.
That's incorrect.
It's incorrect.
He's a 6th year.
Seriously?
Because the 7th is, I mean, they say it explicitly.
I should have thought through this more. Wait, so in... Oh... Yeah.
Because the next book is his last year.
It's his last year.
I was rejoicing like crazy.
That's true.
But I still considered it a fair question because they explicitly.
No, that's very much a fair question. I should have got it. I should have just thought before I spoke. Let this be a lesson to you kids. Because no Quidditch in Goblet of Fire.
Yeah. And Wood would have been talking
with
about
all the marbles.
Yeah, he would have been so upset.
With all the marbles, I go and don't think about a question.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what do I get for it?
A bean. What flavor bean, though?
Probably not bad. Just a little fruity, maybe.
Yeah, I'm wondering if them being expired makes them taste better. Because there's some of them that...
Just mellows them all out.
Yeah. Emily, did you come up with your second question?
I did.
So I think it's still...
Now you're up 1.
Or did
we both missed both of our questions.
Okay, so it's 1-0 still.
Yeah.
I feel like this was probably already asked too, but
Go
I just
for it,
had
please.
to Google something. Okay. Who is the leader of the Headless Hunt? Full name.
Yes. The full name? Oh, okay. I know it's Podmore. Podmore is his last name. Is this another situation where I get a half point?
Well, there's a hyphenated last name, so I don't know if you're getting the full. You could get a 0.25.
That'll still be enough. I can only... Here's what we'll do. We'll say I'm wrong. But what's his full name?
Sir Patrick Delaney Podmore.
Delaney's the middle name, I think.
They got a hyphen. Delaney Podmore.
I just remember Nearly Headless Nick called him Sir Properly Decapitated Podmore when he was being catty. So we will, Jonathan, you look for a question in case she gets this right, because I have backup questions.
Yeah.
And if she gets this question right, then we got to go another one. All right.
The pressure is on me.
It all comes down to this.
I hate that.
All comes down to this.
Okay.
Just think through your answer. I'm gonna kick myself.
This to me is an easy question.
Okay.
I should have said that. I'm going to cut that out. In case you get it wrong, it's going to make you look terrible. All right, here's your question. Who was Gryffindor about to play in Quidditch and their match was canceled right at the beginning of the match? You got a 50-50 shot, really.
Hufflepuff.
That's correct. Ding, 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 ding. Huffly puff, souffle poof in French. So it's 1-1. All right. Jonathan, have you got any backup?
I needed to actually get a backup.
I made a bunch because I was like, there's a good chance we might ask each other the same question.
Yeah.
And that I always make backup questions because for that reason when it gets to Quizzitch time.
I have a question.
Please.
All right. Which section of the International Confederation of Warlocks Statute of Secrecy was Harry warned about breaking?
Which section?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like, it's like section...
Like a 2A? Or is that what you're looking for?
If you want me to pull it up in the actual... Just to make sure. Like, I can do like section blank if it like...
Is it a name?
It's a number.
It's a number. Okay. 3B.
13.
13? No. I didn't get that right at all. That's crazy. All right.
Okay, this is
this is descended into madness.
This is good. This is good podcast material here.
I'm cutting so much. Don't worry. That's the power of editing. But I will be, and you have another chance to win.
Okay.
That looks like so. Because it is.
Oh.
No.
That's my fast forward noise.
Wait, is it my turn for the question?
Yes.
Oh, don't worry, you'll win.
It's still 1-1, Emily.
No, we'll see.
Give the model of the brooms that the Weasleys use.
Clean sweep. 7. 5. Look at me
Whatever
like
you
that.
want to submit.
Okay.
Do you know Jonathan?
I think so.
You can help her out.
Do you think it's 7?
I think it's 5.
You think it's 5? Okay.
5 is correct. You guys win Quizzitch. The world wins. The world wins book 2.
Due to an abundance of
gosh.
grace.
Yeah.
That's okay. I enjoyed every minute of
What
it.
color are Harry's eyes? And I'm like, name the section.
In the movie or in the book.
That was my question for the audience. So I don't have a question for them now. Let me flip through.
Can I, as an aside,
Yeah.
I want to ask you if you knew the answer to the question I was thinking about asking.
Oh, please.
So just for funs.
Mm-hmm.
When
I did cut out Jonathan's question, but just so y'all know, I did know the answer. No big deal. No big deal. Anyway, back to the show. And let's see. I would say for people's question, how long did Hermione spend in the infirmary or in the hospital wing? So audience, your quiz question for the week. How long did Hermione spend in the hospital wing whenever she was turned into a cat after taking Polyjuice Potion? That's your Quizzitch question for this week. And I need to answer your question from last week. Your question last week was, see, listeners, I don't forget. Your question last week was, what time did Hagrid show up to the feast whenever they were partying at the end of the last chapter? What time did he show up? And if you said that he showed up at 3:30 a.m., well, then you'd be correct. Ding, 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 ding.
Goodness
Good job,
gracious.
everybody. But again, if you want to submit your answers to the Quizzitch competition question, go ahead and email me at theretoldpodcast@gmail.com or message me on Instagram at theretoldpodcast. And without further ado, now that I'm a loser, we can get to our top 5 lines of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Let's go.
Yeah. So the way this is going to work, we're going to say them in descending order.
Oh.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Why do you?
Okay.
Is that okay
I say
with you?
because I'm not really sure I ironed out.
On the fly, baby.
On the
Okay, well, I mean, yeah.
Did you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah.
Okay, and so the way I like to do it, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then you say your honorable
Honorable
mentions,
mentions.
and then you say 1.
Like, watch Mojo.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
If you're on YouTube, you know what I'm talking
I
about.
feel like I've seen that like on Snapchat, a little bubble for them. But, oh, man, it just hit me that I don't have to wake up early tomorrow. That feels great. I just realized.
Mm.
It's not important to you listeners, but that made me very happy in this moment. All right, number 5. I will go first, and then we'll kick it to Emily, and then Jonathan. But number 5, my 5th favorite line of the book. So this was interesting. As I was making note of these, I realized I had a whole lot of like funny lines, humorous lines. I thought this book is way funnier than I thought. And so I thought I need to find more of my like serious ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed in my top 5, there's more serious now because I was doing that. And I put the funnier ones in my honorable mention. But anyway, my number 5, this is in chapter 14, Cornelius Fudge. This will be a bit of a shock, said Professor McGonagall in a surprisingly gentle voice as they approached the infirmary.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that. One of my favorite things in this series is how it is the McGonagall's demeanor, that she can be tough and difficult, but also that it's not for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind, she's loving. And so this woman who's always very strict with them in this moment knows to, like, she's delivering something difficult. And so you can hear the tenderness in her voice. It says gentleness, at least in mine, in this section. So that's my number 5 favorite line in the book. Thank you, McGonagall. All right, Emily, what's your number 5?
My number 5. Sorry. My Kindle's scrolling up. Okay, mine's a funny one, just because I felt like Ron was kind of MVP for me.
He really was.
He was like just laying it on this book. It was so fun. But he says, "Do you think we've got nothing better to do in potions than listen to Snape?"
I'm glad you said that because I wanted to include it, so thank you.
I literally cackled out loud when I read that. He's so funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a freaking wonderful line. I love that. I had to cross out so many Ron moments. And right before he says that, he also delivers another funny line. It's like just literally like 2 paragraphs up on the page. Can't remember what it was, but it's another banger.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan, are you ready with your number 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is when Lockhart shows up late while the teachers are like discussing that Ginny has been taken. And it says, he didn't seem to notice that the other teachers were looking at him with something remarkably like hatred. And I just thought it was funny for one reason, because it's funny, but it's also like, I don't know, the narrator is sort of like being thick, like Lockhart. It's like, oh, they don't hate him. They're just looking at him with something remarkably like hatred. And then he doesn't even seem to notice that. So
yeah, I like that. That's funny. My number 4, I should probably flip to them as I'm saying them, while you guys are talking. But number 4. Okay. This one was funny because I had picked another line and realized, I'll explain it later, but I realized I didn't like it and I took it out. But anyway, number 4, from the burrow, Ron says, it's a bit small, not like that room you had with the muggles. And I'm right underneath the ghoul in the attic. He's always banging on the pipes and groaning. But Harry said, grinning widely, this is the best house I've ever been in. Ron's ears went pink. I love that. There's so many good Harry lines in this book.
Yeah.
But what like a wonderfully affirming line from Harry. Ron is extremely insecure in this moment. We know that he's insecure about being poor, and he hates that he does not have the nicer things in life, and that it's a common theme throughout everything in his life. But I love in this moment Harry saying, no, you have something wonderful here. I love it. I love Harry bringing that bright. And, here on this podcast, we're all about the brighter side. And so I love that Harry did that for Ron. Mm-hmm. That's my number 4. Emily.
My number 4, this is from Molly when they're talking about what went down in the Chamber of Secrets and how Ginny kind of got enchanted by Tom Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
She says,
he's very enchanting.
Very enchanting.
Especially the movie, the actor in the
so
movie.
Handsome.
Really
y'all are wrong for that one. Never trust anything that can think for itself if you can't see where it keeps its brain.
Is that Molly that says that? I thought it was Arthur.
Just kidding. It might be Arthur. Listen, I got the little highlight.
Yeah, it's Arthur that says that.
It says Mr. Weasley. You're right. You're right.
Mr.
Okay,
Mrs.
so Mr. Weasley said that.
That's right. He did do that.
Sometimes I read too fast. Yes. Haven't I taught you anything? What have I always told you? Never trust anything that can think for itself if you can't see where it keeps its brain.
That's iconic.
I think good message. Computers, your phone, robot. I don't know.
That's a line that's on a lot of Harry Potter merchandise and memorabilia. I love that one. It's definitely a high up there one.
Yeah.
Iconic. Jonathan, number 4.
I was going to say, you think we've got nothing better to do than to listen to Snape?
That's right. Very good. Why do you like that one?
It's just like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I've got nothing better to do in class than listen to the teacher. It's like, come on.
I like it too because it sounds, this sounds weird to say, but it sounds like something I would say. And I think the tone of voice he's taking is, yeah, we should pay attention, but he's making an honest, not like, he's not serious. He's joking around saying like, obviously that's what we should do. But do you think we got nothing better?
But come on.
Yeah. It's funny.
Listen to Snape.
Ew. Number 3, I would say my number 3 favorite line on page 320. Oh, everybody has that copy.
For those of us following along on unknown copy.
Fox, said Harry thickly. You were fantastic, Fox. I love that line so much. Again, there's so many good Harry moments in this book, and I gushed about it on the previous episode with this line, but I love this one because in this moment, Harry's about to die, and rather than being upset, he takes the time to look at this bird and say, hey, thank you. You did a good job. And I made note of this in the episode, but in the movie, he even adds the line, I just wasn't quick enough. So he's like taking blame on himself. It's like, no, you did your part. You did good. The only reason I'm about to die is because of me. So I love that. That's my third favorite line of the book. Emily.
Okay. Mine's kind of long. Sorry.
No problem.
So I have a lot of like end of the book for the final three. So I'll just warn y'all. But this is Harry speaking to Tom Riddle. I know why you couldn't kill me, because my mother died to save me, my common muggle-born mother.
Yeah.
He added, shaking with suppressed rage. She stopped you killing me, and I've seen the real you. I saw you last year. You're a wreck. You're barely alive. That's where all your powers got you. You're in hiding. You're ugly. You're foul. It's like, oh, get him.
Keep going. Keep going.
I just,
Hype him up. Hype him up.
I love it. He's getting his like groove in, and that's every time they face off with each other, Harry's like, by the way, you're trash because you're a bad person and you're always going to be a bad person and no one loves you and you don't know how to love, and my parents love me and people love me and I have friends and you don't. It's like, you just,
and you know what? You're stinky and you're ugly
and you smell bad.
You look weird.
I like
you don't even have a nose.
What this gives me the feeling of is like a Southern gospel preacher getting on a roll. It's like, and then
yes!
and then this, and then this, and yeah, just going and going.
I love it.
Especially the part of, you know what you lost to, the people you hate, my muggle-born mama. That's who beat you. In your face. Good stuff. And that is cool to mention. I don't think I think about that a lot. It's always phrased that Harry beat Voldemort. No, it was actually Lily that beat him that night. So good on you. Jonathan, you're number 3.
Picking up at the last page of the book. This is after the big reveal that Ginny has of what Percy has been up to. And she says, you won't tease him, will you? She added anxiously. Wouldn't dream of it, said Fred, who was looking as if his birthday had come early.
I thought, I was scared you were about to say the last line of the book is just such a awful way to end the book, I think, of him going like, what are you talking about? My aunt and uncle are going to be upset that I didn't die.
Yeah.
Like, that's a weird way to end that book. But no, that is a very funny line. My number 2. So moving on to number 2, everybody. Page 62. Turn in your Bible. Turn in the hymnal. Page 62. Mr. Weasley in chapter 4 at Flourish and Blots. We have a very different idea of what disgraces the name of wizard, Malfoy. Oh, I love that line. It's like, you have your standards, I have my standards, and I know you don't like this type of lifestyle, but you're wrong. You know, the things that we find, there's some TV show where the person says, I don't care about your booze, I've seen what makes you cheer.
Oh yeah,
that's a solid line, and in this gives me vibes of.
Yes,
so, love that line.
When you first said that, I thought of booze as in BOOZE, and I was like, "Where is he going with this?"
Oh, okay, I'm distracted.
Keep going.
It's BOOS for everyone out there who might be slower than I,
and not boo-hoos. Boo.
Yeah,
Emily, you're number 2.
Again, end of the book. Facing off with Tom Riddle. Then, without thinking, without considering, as though he had meant to do it all along, Harry seized the basilisk fang on the floor next to him and plunged it straight into the heart of the book. I love the intuition Harry just seems to have in moments, because he can kind of be a little clueless, like there's a lot of times where his friends are helping him. He's got like a whole crew of people, but these moments where it's just Harry v. whatever.
His battle instincts are really good.
They're really good. And even as like a child, it's like he just knows, and he's like, I don't know what came over me, but boom, I know I have to do this.
There's that one meme that's like, F your couch. And so when he sees his possession, Riddle's book, screw your book.
Yeah, maybe he's just being vindictive. And I'm like, oh, he's so wise.
Like, I'm about to die. Let me just be petty and destroy this book here.
Darn diary.
Oh, that killed him? Great. Fantastic. You're number 2. Jonathan.
Yeah, so we know Malfoy's got some good quips sometimes.
Indubitably.
Oh, he does.
But here's where Hermione says, at least no one on Gryffindor team had to buy their way in.
Yes, ma'am.
Said Hermione sharply. They got in on pure talent. The smug look on Malfoy's face flickered. No one asked your opinion, you filthy little mudblood, he spat. And it's just like, I love that because she got him.
Part.
Because he got her. No, because it's he got beat. There was nothing that he could actually come back with, and so he resorts to name calling.
Yeah.
It's like, you may think you're hot stuff, Malfoy, but you're really not.
Yeah, that is one of the best insults in the series. I said in the episode, I hate how like Malfoy's low moments often get swept under the rug, but that is such a good burn.
Yes.
So well said. And it's so true. It's not like, and it's actually something you can make fun of somebody for. It's not like, oh, hey, you're poor.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you're rich.
You're in a better position than me financially.
I guess it is the flip side of it, I guess.
But also not just being rich, but using that to
your advantage.
Nepo,
puff
baby.
yourself up.
Yes.
And,
And I love how after, like, the whole uproar with the name, and she's like, I don't know what that means, so that doesn't affect me, bro.
Yeah. Joke's on you.
Joke's on you.
I don't know.
I don't know what that means. She's like, it must have been rude because everybody was mad.
I do like that moment. Well, moving on then to, before we get to number 1, I know all you listeners are itching to hear our number 1s. But before we get to that, our honorable mentions. So I'm going to rattle off. I think in the text message I sent to both of you, I was like 1 or 2. I have 4, so I'm just going to say them. I won't give much explanation. I'll say them really quickly. One of them is Harry knew it. No, that's the wrong one. At least no. Oh, you just said that one. I was about to say the one Jonathan just said. Yeah,
it's very honorable.
Very honorable. Okay, guys, I only have 3. I don't have 4 actually. I would also say one of Malfoy's insults, because again, he does have some good insults. When he says to Goyle, actually to Harry, honestly, if you were any slower, you'd be going backward. And I found that very funny. It is very clever, especially for a 12-year-old. And then other honorable mention, I would say is, and while you're at it, this is Lockhart speaking in Chapter 13, Very Secret Diary. And while you're at it, Professor Flitwick knows more about entrancing enchantments than any wizard I've ever met. The sly old dog. So I love that little addition there of like a little flitty. But moving on to my last honorable mention, it would be Aragog in Chapter 15. Kill them, clicked Aragog fretfully. I was sleeping. I found that very humorous. I said it a lot in the episode, but it's just totes relatable. Anyway, Emily, your honorable mentions?
Okay. Both of mine are, I believe, from Ron. He says, maybe he murdered Myrtle. That would have done everyone a favor. And when you're reading that, and this is about Tom Riddle, and they're trying to figure out what he did, reading that, you're like, oh my God.
That's incredibly dark.
And you're like, but I know what I know. And how did he?
Oh, yeah.
And then another from Ron. Because that's what Hermione does, said Ron, shrugging. When in doubt, go to the library.
That's our girl.
That's our girl.
He's picking up a lot on what she does, even from early on. I know that they lay crumbs for that kind of, but if you're looking for it, you do see it a lot.
Yeah,
Was that both your?
that's it.
Okay, Jonathan, your honorable mentions.
I'd like to honorably mention everything Lockhart says, pretty much.
Yeah, I felt terrible because, like, I remember in our episode this season, I gushed a lot about how funny I found Lockhart this book. I don't. Yeah, that is still iconic to me. And if I ever make a book, I am going to do that. I just put it up. Me, but I feel terrible that. I didn't include a single Lockhart line.
Yeah.
I guess I just did in my honorable mention, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's one thing for sure.
Fame is a fickle friend. Celebrity is a celebrity does. Ari. Oh, I love it.
So good. Also, at the end, Dumbledore says, which goes to show that the best of us must sometimes eat our words.
I didn't say this, but I was surprised when I was editing that episode and I read that line. I did not mention that it made me think of the line in The Hobbit when, at the end of the first Hobbit movie, when Thorin says to Bilbo, like, did I not say that you would be a burden, that, like, you would get in the way, that you would, like, just be terrible for us? I've never been so wrong in my entire life. And that's very strong vibes of what Dumbledore says there. Yeah. Now I don't have to go back in and edit it.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I think that's good. I might have another honorable mention if it's not anyone's first.
Go ahead, say it.
Number one.
Oh, well, actually, that's fair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
because I've been sitting here thinking, if either of them say it, I'm going to be.
Well, neither of you are going to have my number one.
We all have the same number one.
No, not me.
I think the number one. I think I know what you're thinking of, but I'm not going to say that one. For me, my number one. So, listeners, here we go. Number one. Chapter 15, Aragog. Page 270, my copy.
Ooh, I'm safe.
Harry passes a message to Ron saying, like, yo, we ride tonight. Like, it's going down now, because they were ticked off at Lockhart talking smack about Hagrid. And I love this. It was not even a question that this would be my favorite line. Ron read the message, swallowed hard, and looked sideways at the empty seat usually filled by Hermione. The sight seemed to stiffen his resolve, and he nodded. Oh, I love that.
Aww.
These boys are so good in this book, you know, but in that moment of him, again, following the spiders, his worst fear, he's so scared. He definitely doesn't want to do this. Earlier in the chapter, he was like, hey, maybe we won't even have to because the potion will be ready. But this happens, and he just looks at this empty seat and thinks, yeah.
We got to do it.
We got to go.
For Hermione.
We ball. Let's do it. So that's my favorite line. I love that. Speaks so well of Ron. Great moment for him. And yeah, that's my number one. Emily.
My number one. Probably the most basic number one of everybody's.
No.
Y'all know it. It's when Dumbledore says, it is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are far more than our abilities.
That's great. I love that.
I think it's like, yeah. Your choices are important. What you choose to do versus like your abilities, how you choose to operate in the world. I love these nuggets of like really good life lessons in kids' books and like nuggets of wisdom dropped in there. I think it's just really important for books that kids are going to be reading as they get older and learning through that process. I love it.
Yeah, one person messaged me. It was one of my. I'm finally getting emails, guys. But one person messaged me and was asking me just my thoughts on different things in the series, and they made the note. It was a really cool note. They said that they really enjoy the soft-handed or light-handed moral teachings in this story. It's not incredibly preachy, but it is incredibly consistent and important in this series of the different, the inclusive themes, the sacrificial themes, and this part of just being a good person, of choosing to do something. Especially, like, I know somebody in my life who I knew them growing up, known them for years, and much about them, I've said this to them of like, you are like in many ways a horrible person, but none of your actions say that about you. And so what I know that sounds weird. So what I mean when I say that, it sounds really weird and confusing. He never wants to do like he's fighting his bad nature. Like I can tell that his first reaction is he wants to do the bad thing, but he does more good than almost anybody I know. And so that's who I would define him as. Because he's fighting his, and so I say like bad person because he's fighting his initial instinct is to do the bad, but he fights it and he doesn't. So I have,
and that's and I like that it's like this is a comforting message to Harry here because he's wrestling with like, oh, am I just a product of this circumstance that I'm in? And it's like, oh, well, I must be evil. Like, look at all these similarities between me and Voldemort. And it's like, no, it's who you are choosing to be. It's what actions you are making that define who you are, not some like, I don't know, innate thing that happened to you or the quality that you have.
Yeah. And it's complementary to the inclusive theme, because this book this is the first one that introduces, the concept of mudbloods and purebloods. And so it's like, Harry, you're choosing. That's what's important, not who you are, what you are, or what you the Mewtwo line, the circumstances of your birth. So.
Yeah, and even on that strand, it's like you've got Ron versus Draco, who are both purebloods. One makes that choice to not be hateful and not live up to that expectation of purebloods, and the other that completely gives into it. It's like over and over again, you see those themes in these books. And I think it's definitely a really nice strand that runs all the way through them.
And somebody mentioned in one of my episodes, I think it was Andy, but he said it would have been really cool to have seen a squib in the Weasley family. Like a pureblood. How would a squib have been treated by a loving family? Because like we see, obviously Filch, don't see any of his family. We see Harry's neighbor,
Mrs. Fig,
and nobody around her really. So with somebody who was surrounded by loving wizards, how might that have looked? I would have enjoyed that. But moving on, Jonathan, you're number one.
This is going to be like such a change of pace. This is kind of silly, but
I love
it's a good Ron moment. And more than that, it's a good, it's a good writing moment. That I just found really, really good. It's in between, or I guess, the transition through the writing on the wall and the rogue bludger. So at the end, they're trying to like, oh, well, we got to get this potion, but it's in the restricted section. We've got to ask a teacher. And Ron says, oh, or Hermione's like, yeah, what if we made it sound like we were just interested in the theory? Ron says, oh, come on, no teacher's going to fall for that, said Ron. They'd have to be really thick, ...
And then
turn the page, and what do you have? Since the disastrous episode of the Pixies, Professor Lockhart had not brought live creatures to class. That was good comedic placement as you turn the page and it's like, oh, Professor Lockhart's really thick.
Yeah.
What's really funny about that is it emphasizes to me, the importance of like how you shouldn't, when you read the Bible, segment chapter by chapter, but things run into each other. Things relate from previous chapters. And so with this, you would have missed the humor of that first line had you just like stopped reading and then picked up with that chapter. I
like that it's just sort of subtle, but it's also clearly intentional that you're going to end it with, oh, they'd have to be really thick, and then just be like, so Professor Lockhart.
Very good. Well, then those were. Oh, what was the honorable mention that you said?
It was Emily's number one, which is why I abstained, because I was like, surely, like we can't go by without this being mentioned.
Yeah.
But I don't want to step on someone's number one.
I do have an honorable mention.
Go for it.
Actually, that I'm going to pull up real quick. It's after. It's right at the end after everything's really happened, and Lockhart has been obliviated by his own self. And Dumbledore says, "Dear me," said Dumbledore, shaking his head, his long silver mustache quivering. "Impaled upon your own sword, Gilderoy."
I love that.
He knew the whole time.
He did.
He doesn't miss a trick, that man, or whatever Mr. Weasley says.
Yeah, that's good. And Dumbledore, he's also like, one of us is keeping very quiet about our part in this. It's like, why so modest?
Someone who doesn't
So
shut
unlike
up
you.
is very quiet right now.
That's good stuff.
I would say too so when you mentioned the line of Ron saying like, "Do you think we got nothing better to do in potions than listen to Snape?" I did go to that page just to see what I was talking about, but it's when Hermione's explaining the plan to them. I think it's that they're going to do Polyjuice. Ron says, "If in a month or so you feel like explaining, you will let us know, won't you? Because she's taking forever to get to the point." And with that, moving on to our next section. So in this one, we're going to shout out our favorite chapter. You can also say an honorable mention. I remember when we did this the first time, we all kept stealing each other's favorite lines and favorite chapters. So that's why we're including the honorable mention one. I'll go first. I think my favorite chapter is The Heir of Slytherin. So there was definitely some strong contenders in other ones, but it's the second to last chapter. I love The Heir of Slytherin because of what you highlighted a lot in the previous section, Emily, the back and forth between Harry, how we really get to see even more how brave he is, how his battle instincts, how great those are, how quick he is, and just a whole lot of good Harry lines said in this chapter that I really enjoy. And I also like the cold nature of Voldemort. Some of those, especially when you listen to the Jim Dale audiobook, his delivery, it's so good. So, "I'm going to kill you, Harry Potter." Oh, I love, it's very well done. And so I enjoyed that. But that would be my favorite chapter. I will refrain from saying my honorable mention in case it's one of your two. So,
courteous.
Emily?
Okay. My favorite chapter is the Death Day party. I love me a Halloween chapter. I really do. And I think the Death Day party not being included in the movies is why it grabs me every time, because I'm like, I just wish this was included, because it's a whole element of the magical universe we don't really get to see. We see the ghosts, and there's some of them, but them having the rotted food and the awful music and the whole interaction with Myrtle, it's all very corny. I can see why it was cut, because it's not super duper important, but it's also why they weren't at the feast, but they came up with something. But it's still nice, Halloween-y. This is a spooky chapter.
Yeah, if listeners don't know this, if you follow Emily on Instagram, when it comes Halloween, even when it's not Halloween time, there are a lot of Halloween posts on your story.
I do. I enjoy Halloween. It's Halloween right now because July 4th is over.
So it begins.
It begins right now.
Very good. Jonathan, your favorite chapter?
I think my favorite chapter is Chapter 14, Cornelius Fudge.
Oh, this is so wonderful. I'm so happy we all had different ones.
Yeah, I just love, it's a big turning point. It's oh, this person's petrified, this person's petrified. But when this is when it really hits home. It's Hermione is gone, and now these boys have to reckon with what's going on themselves.
Yeah.
Because usually they can just kind of rely on Hermione to do a lot of the thinking and the figuring out, and she's already done it, but now they're on their own. And I think it's a good turning point in the book. And I do really like the whole, Dumbledore and Hagrid giving these secret messages to them while they're invisible. And it's
Did you see the meme I made?
Follow the spiders.
Did you see the meme I made about Hagrid in that chapter?
No.
So funny because I'm so funny. That part's always so funny to me because Hagrid, you've just been accused of murder, basically. And it's you would think a person in that position would kind of be tame, but instead he goes, "There'll be killings next if you get rid of Dumbledore." And then let me just shout, follow the spiders. And that's what I highlighted in me in that. But Hagrid's funny to me in that moment because those aren't the actions of a innocent man necessarily. Great chapter though. Much agreed. All right then. My honorable mention was the Death Day party. I love the Death Day party. I love that in Hogwarts Legacy you actually get to go see one down in the if you travel down into the basements in the dungeons. I mean, it's one of those things that I look forward to in the series. I can understand why you wouldn't include it in the movie. Like, again, you're trying to stay on topic, in a line, move the story along. But these little asides or these cool little moments of something else mystical and wonderful in the magical world, it makes it richer, makes it fuller. I really like that. And it adds to I don't think in the movie it's stated that it's Halloween night, the night that the night that they find Mrs. Norris.
Yeah.
But this is Halloween night. In every single book, there's something that happens on Halloween.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that was my honorable mention was the Death Day party. Is it pimply? I hate when...
Moldy peanuts.
Moldy peanuts. I do hate when... there's such good writing in that chapter, especially when they are... I've highlighted it in the episode, but there's a sequence of events that you see something incredibly chaotic going on, and then all of a sudden it just nearly headless Nick comes up having a good time, and they're like, yeah, sure. I feel bad for Nick in that chapter because it's his party and it gets crashed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, poor guy. And I love that they just bounce right after that. They go, you know what, let's go. Emily, do you have an honorable mention chapter?
I do. Polyjuice Potion chapter. I think it's so fun and silly, and that's kind of like the whimsy part for me. They're doing their silly impersonations of Crabbe and Goyle, and they're trying to be sleuths and figure out how to get Malfoy and his little admission of being the heir of Slytherin. And then they're like, oh, well, now we know. But it's fun to me too because Ron kind of got dirt
the second
and he goes, ooh, and then they start changing. They have to go, but Ron got his dirt at least
and tells his dad
about the chamber under their manor with all this.
They got their own secret chamber.
Ding, ding, ding! Chamber under the manor that we're gonna. There's a lot of stuff in this book that we see.
I didn't even think about
later that I was like, oh,
wow,
yeah.
I should have mentioned that in the restricted section of that episode. I didn't even think about. So, listeners, if you aren't thinking of it either, when in the 7th book, that's where they get held captive at the basement under. Good catch. Good catch.
Bravo. My Malfoys.
When you said, I'll edit this to make it sound better, but there was something you said that so they think it's Malfoy. They find out it's not Malfoy. And I love in the next chapter, very soon afterwards, when that Hufflepuff Ernie comes up to them and says, you think it's Malfoy? They both go, no, that's so stupid. Why would you think it's Malfoy?
Ron especially, he's like, no. He still has beef because he's like, Yuki's my friend. I don't like you.
The book mentions he's still upset. Yeah, it's
Do you have an honorable mention?
I think so. Dobby's reward, not really because of the Dobby's part, honestly, but I just always love the last chapter of every book where it's you get that good Harry Dumbledore moment and you kind of get some of your questions answered. And I don't know, that might feel cheap in some ways, but it doesn't feel cheap. It's it's satisfying. It's good. It's yeah.
Yeah. It's very hard to craft a good ending. It's satisfying. And I hate when TV shows will have a finale that the final episode isn't after the climax. I need at least a full episode of all my beloved characters living in the peace after the climax. Yeah. And so I love that about a lot of these books, that you do get these longer moments of joy and peace. I hit the microphone here, but of joy and peace. And it's wonderful.
Yeah. And I thought of something in that chapter that, a couple episodes ago, you had some people on that were not very big fans of the Dumbledore.
Of the Dumbs.
And they pointed out this one line where it was like, oh, why is Dumbledore saying this person's got to be loyal to themselves for him to not be gone? And I was thinking, it was like...
Loyal to him.
Yeah, loyal to... Yes, loyal to him. Like, why Dumbledore?
You don't know how many times I misspeak in the podcast, and when I'm editing it, I go, that sounds so dumb. Like, in one of the most recent episodes, I said that Mossag was Hagrid's wife, and that's Aragog's wife. And so I edited out me saying the word Hagrid, and I just said, and it's wife. That's what it sounds like in the episode. And I thought, listeners, they're intelligent enough. They'll know. But go ahead.
But it's Fawkes. Fawkes was the help that Dumbledore could offer, and Fawkes is incredibly loyal as a loyal pet to Dumbledore.
Yes.
Fawkes isn't going to come to someone because they're just loyal to generic good virtue. Like, Fawkes needed to come when someone was loyal to Dumbledore, because Fawkes is Dumbledore's pet, and they're incredibly faithful pets.
Yes.
I never even thought of that.
He introduces that concept when we meet Fawkes. He's like, they're very faithful pets. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like he does. I
think one of my top 3 favorite jokes I've said on this podcast, it's in the previous episode, so listeners, let me help you relive this. When they're trying to get out of the chamber, everything's all over, and Ron's like, what the heck is this bird? And Harry's like, it's not just any bird. It's a plot convenience bird.
Yeah, it does all the things you need it to. Yep. And Dumbledore randomly told you that multiple chapters ago.
I even make that joke of Voldemort goes, I forgot that Dumbledore told us about what Phoenixes do in chapter 12.
Yeah, that's good stuff. But just as a little subtle defense, I think that's a great point, because the art, and I had considered when they said that it was like, absolutely, yeah, it's kind of weird that Dumbledore would say you have to be loyal to just me and not just be a good person. But it's not about him being a good or him wanting you to be loyal to him for no reason. It's because that's the magic that would bring Fawkes to them. That's the magic by which help could come.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Good catch. Now, moving on to our best and worst transfigurations of book 2. So, listeners, this is like the things that we would say the best change that the movie made from the book and the worst change that the movie made from the book. So I've gone first every time. Jonathan, how about you go first this time?
Okay, I've got a couple, if that's okay.
Yeah.
But I won't obviously do them all at first. I think the thing I'll start out with is, as the best change, is just some of the additional comedic lines that they throw in.
Did we done it now?
They're like when Vernon's like, well, you and that bloody pigeon aren't going anywhere. Like, bloody pigeon? Are you kidding me? That's great.
Why couldn't it be follow the butterflies?
Yes.
There's some really good, when the Howler is like, oh, Ginny dear, congratulations on making Gryffindor.
And then sticking its tongue out.
Yeah, good stuff. So, another one I want to mention, when Gilderoy's got the pixies and he says, I must ask you not to scream. It might provoke them. There's some good stuff. Mm-hmm. They mention a Mad and Harry monster, and Hagrid's there. Oh,
Mad and Harry.
Mad and Harry.
You'd be talking about me, would you? Yeah. And they all look so guilty in that moment.
There's just some fun, good little comedic moments that they added that I appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Emily?
Is this worst?
This is best.
Best? Oh, yeah. Okay. To be fair, it's been a while since I watched all the way through the movie, but I did watch some of it last night. And I did enjoy the little action-packed way they did the car versus like borderline hot car death in the book. Because they're literally like, I'm hot, I'm thirsty, it's been hours.
The toffees are melting.
Like we have nothing to drink. But in the movie, you get this like they're flying around and they're looking for the train and they're in front of the train and they look at each other and have that iconic scream moment and they go up and then one of them for some reason the door opens and they're like, I'm like, girl,
your hands are sweaty.
And I love that they changed that up to make it obviously more like exciting for the movie, like but I think it was a good addition for sure.
I think it is usually the case that action sequences are better in the movies. So like the Quidditch match in the movie with Malfoy and Harry going on their trench run. I love that. That's so cool too. You don't like it, do you?
I don't like it.
Oh no, you're wrong.
I'm like, listen, no. With all the things they're cutting out of this movie, it's like you're gonna add a whole extra like weird little scene.
But it's for kids. It's to entertain the youths.
It's for me.
I love that. The snake. The battle with the snake, I like much more in the movie. You know, Harry climbing on top of the statue, running through because in the book it's very quick. It's very just all that happens between Harry and the snake is Harry runs, falls down, gets back up, Fox attacks, and then the snake lurches at him 3 times, and on the 3rd try, bam. That's all it is.
Yeah,
I like it much more in the movie. So action sequences, usually much better. I would say my favorite change is. What did I write? No. Oh, this is the best change. So I said earlier that in my favorite lines, I had a line written down, but it's different in the movie than in the book. And I love the movie version. Yeah. So the best change is what Harry says, I'll be in my room, making no noise and pretending that I don't exist. I love that. That's one of the funniest lines, I think, in the whole series. In the book, he says something like just pretending I'm not there or something. But I think exist sounded a lot funnier. Yeah, it's much better. And he says it in his thoughts later. So, again, but it's like they took both of those different lines and mashed them together to make that. And that is my favorite movie change. Oh. Very small, very insignificant, but I liked it. Real quick, honorable mentions for favorite changes.
Okay. The order of when Harry gets healed in the chamber. In the book, it's a little awkward because you've got this whole Tom Riddle's ignorant to the fact that Phoenixes have healing tears, which for one just kind of seems weird. But I really like him being healed after he destroys the book, because also then you've got this moment where Ginny wakes up and Harry's like, thinking he's going to die. And he's like, here's what you got to do. Just go to the end of this. And I think that it was a much better moment in the movie than it being like, okay, well, he's already healed. And then you've got this weird, like he's being healed in front of Riddle. And so that's something.
And I love a bunch of people, what I found common is that the cheesiest lines I love and most people hate, but in that scene, after Fox cries on him, he goes, Ginny's going to be okay. It's just a memory. And I was, I love that. I love that. Again, it sounds dumb, sure, but I love that. And what is it? I love in movie 4 when Harry looks at Hermione and she goes, she says, everything's going to be different now, isn't it? And he just goes, yes. Yeah. I love that. Everybody craps on that. I see it a lot.
That's good.
I think it's very funny. Did you have any more?
I have one more thing that I'd like to mention.
Very good.
And it's Dobby's sock. I was so shocked, like reading through this time, that in the book, he puts the book in the sock. The diary goes in the sock.
It's like a gift wrap.
And then it's like, I don't know, because I feel like then we're kind of playing at like, oh, he throws a sock and Dobby happens to catch it. Does that count as him being given a sock? I didn't like that. I think that it was a good change in the movie that made more sense for Harry to put the sock in the diary and give it to Malfoy.
I would argue that that each one has something better. So what I would say is it's a bigger loophole, I think, for Malfoy to hand Dobby the book. And so unintentionally handing, even more so handing the sock. Yeah. Because he doesn't even see the sock. Whereas in the book, he at least sees the sock before he throws it.
Yeah. I thought, the intention behind passing the book to him. He thinks he's passing a book versus throwing the sock. He has the garment in his hand. I don't know the laws of the house elves, but
it seems like it's kind of.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it seems like maybe it is almost something that's like innate within them.
Like they just kind of
that it's not actually like maybe an outside magic
Maybe
that is
they
restraining them.
Can free themselves the whole time.
I don't know.
A lot of them want to stay enslaved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like maybe
What a disgusting sentence.
No, it's awful.
Clearly it doesn't have to be an intentional. I'm now presenting you with clothes so as to free you. Like if there's a loophole at all, I feel like it's got to be somewhat self-inflicted, where Dobby is like receiving this as.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know that the house elves do the laundry. But we also know that I guess the way you could phrase it is that he didn't want the book anymore. He was giving Dobby the book. Therefore, he was giving him everything about the book in the movie version, because they're allowed to pick up laundry and they're allowed to wash laundry in the books. However, in one of the books, I think it's book 4 or 5, Hermione knits hats for them and leaves them, even hides them under things, and they stop cleaning Gryffindor Tower because they don't want them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there being a difference there.
Yeah.
Did you have any more favorite lines, Emily? Or not favorite lines, favorite transfigurations?
Like best?
Best of, yeah.
I don't think so.
I think I said all mine too. So the worst transfiguration. Emily, what's the worst one?
Okay, this is mine. I think changing the whole interaction around the mudbloods and how we are introduced to that. In the book, Ron is the one explaining what it means because he's the one that lives in that world.
Yes.
Like Harry and Hermione are like, what the heck is that? But in the movie, Hermione's like upset about it and she already knows what it means. I think Ron explaining it as a pureblood and like why it's wrong has so much more weight to me. Like him being like, it's stupid. Like, look at Neville. He's a pureblood and he can't even like
I love that his way of comforting Hermione was to insult.
Putting down poor baby Neville. I know. But I just like that so much better instead of. But we do get a nice like Hagrid and Hermione moment out of
that.
That
is one of the best moments in all the movies of Hagrid. Just that sweet, tender, fatherly look on his face, comforting her. But I agree. When I did that episode, when we covered those chapters, my guest John from First Time Readers on YouTube, he said that this is like the beginning of messing up Ron's character.
Yes, exactly.
Now that you've established this, you take his character in a different direction and you remove any bits of his intelligence and you just take out, really highlight only the bad things.
You just make him a funny idiot.
Yes. And that's how I think that's how that made me feel, seeing that it changed like that, because Ron adds so much context as someone who grew up in the wizarding world and he knows things and he gets to kind of like tell Harry and Hermione, oh, it's because of this. This is how it is. Like, I know because I live in this world and I got to grow up in this. And like getting to explain this is wrong and you should be upset because like you've been wronged.
Yeah. And I want to clarify too, just for listeners, I still love Rupert Grint and his portrayal of Ron.
Yeah.
I think he did an incredible job, and I still enjoy the character of Ron a lot in the movie. I just think that too much was sacrificed from the book.
They gave a lot of his lines to Hermione to like grow that bond, which was great. But it almost felt like sometimes Harry and Hermione had this like bond that surpassed what him and Ron had. But in the books, he felt closer to Ron.
Yeah, I'm making a Jeopardy board for another Harry Potter podcast for book 5, and I was going through book 5 and I was noticing in the movie changes. It's like, holy crap, they took so much away from Ron in this book. Didn't even realize it. But Jonathan, your worst movie change.
Okay. It's kind of another giving more things to Hermione that Hermione didn't say.
To continue this theme.
It's when she's the one who says, fear of a name only increases fear of the thing itself,
Yes.
which I believe is something that Dumbledore says in book 1 to Harry. And here in the movie, it's given to Hermione in the shop, the bookshop. And
Flourish and blotch.
yes. And what I don't like about that is its flow down effect on Hermione's character, because there's really big moment, like Hermione saying Voldemort
In book 5
is a really big moment. And it's kind of what gives Harry the confidence and knowledge that, like, okay, Hermione's actually serious about this, because that's when she's trying to convince him to do these, these DA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it holds a lot of weight in that moment, and that's ruined. That's stripped away from the movie franchise when she just automatically says this because they really want to buff up Hermione and make her know everything. And
I would say the only good thing about it is that at least it's not an inconsistency. In the movie,
it's not
because
inconsistent.
they just get rid of that part of her character
Yes.
entirely. Because there are a few things they escape my mind at the moment, but I have noticed a few things that create inconsistencies because of
Within
changes
the
to begin
movie.
with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not inconsistent. I just think that moment is worth not just funneling everything to Hermione and making her the one who says all of the profound things and know all of the things. And especially with what you had just mentioned, is like the things that you don't just learn in books. She wouldn't have read a book that had anything to do with mudbloods.
Yeah.
Like, it makes total sense why that would be something she wouldn't know and Ron would know. But
So
I digress.
my worst movie change, and I don't want to linger too long because I'm already feeling like bad because I hate talking about the things I hate.
I've got one more.
I'm all fired up. I would say the thing that I hate the most, the change, is during the dueling scene in the fight when they're all in the Great Hall. That is when, and it's a trickle down effect, when they change spells to just be blast.
I'm with you.
Whereas actually in that fight, Harry makes Malfoy makes Harry dance, and Harry tickles Malfoy. He can with tickle. And that there's much more to the spells. Whereas in the book, he even casts Rictum Sempra, the tickle spell, and it just shoots him back. And that's the beginning of all that. The only time you see really a duel in which other things happen than blast is Voldemort and Dumbledore's duel in movie 5. But even that it's again still sick, but even that is greatly reduced from what it was in the book. And so I think that begins during that scene.
Wands are guns theme.
Literally, yes. Oh my gosh.
I'm with you there.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
good stuff.
Did you have any more
I
terrible
had
changes?
like not a change, but an omission.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see the denoming at the Weasley's house.
Good call.
Girl,
because that's fun.
It's just fun, and it would have he has those I love magic moments, and that's how he felt when he walked into Weasley's house. It would have just added to kind of the fun of that.
Even if it was like a conversation between him and Ron, and in the background you see Fred and George.
Yeah, flinging gnomes, hilarious. And there's so many good funny moments, like you said, and that they added that would have just amplified that. I think
the best line of that moment is when it says Harry's feeling terrible about doing this, and then one bit him, and then the next line is, "Wow, Harry, that must be a record."
I love that.
Did you have any other? Jonathan?
The last thing I wanted to say is the Polyjuice potion not changing their voices.
Yes.
I'm not about that. I think I get why they did it. I imagine they did it
easier
so that you can keep track of who's who. But it just makes it so much less believable. Already, the whole thing is unbelievable. It's oh, Malfoy's not suspicious? What does he be like, hey, you guys were acting pretty weird. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I woke up in a closet. Well, it's what?
Yeah.
Jesse and I were talking about this, and I came up with the headcanon that their voices actually are different in movie world, but we as the audience needed a distinguisher, so that's why we hear
but
that.
That's not consistent with the movie.
Do they say that?
Because the movie, like I think the first thing Harry says or Ron, they're like, "You need to sound more like Crabbe, or you need to sound more like Goyle." That's a line that is said.
You could take that to mean maybe Harry said something smart, and so they're like, "No, Goyle's dumber."
I mean, it could be just an inconsistency, but we do see in the fourth movie when Mad-Eye is Barty Crouch Jr. the whole time. I mean, he doesn't sound like Barty Crouch the whole time, right?
He sounds like Mad-Eye the whole time.
It's just
so it's like maybe
Mad-Eye's voice.
We could like do a suspension of disbelief and think that maybe it was like a in that the audience had to have just for the moment, just to know that it was those two. But I feel like it's just an inconsistency that they had.
Didn't they do that again in book 7 or in movie 7? I should say.
Oh yeah,
they switched back to
they had all the Harrys.
Yeah,
I think it was so we knew who was who. Though there's like 7 of them.
I do think with Mad-Eye, you could make the argument, like in favor of the voices not changing, that
he was just
really good at it, and he could probably
really
work a spell to make his voice change.
So yeah, I just didn't like that. I feel like it made the whole thing less believable, and especially when you pull that into later instances, like robbing Gringotts. It's like, okay, you're going to need some voices that are actually.
I would like to see my vote. I thought you were going to say that you wished that the Polyjuice potions changed color. Because that's something that happens in the book, and so and they taste different depending on who they are, and that leads to some questionable things when it gets to like Harry in book 7 because his turns gold, and everybody's like, "Wow, Harry, you taste really good." It's like, whoa, okay. Real quick, I'll just throw mine out again. I say I hated that they dunked on Oliver Wood in the Quidditch match because he goes, "Watch it, Harry," and the bludger comes back and hits his broom and destroys his broom, and it's like he got knocked out in the first movie, and then he got his broom destroyed. And why are we doing this to poor Oliver? And then in the third movie, you don't even get to see him win the cup.
I feel like most of the time you're watching Quidditch, people aren't doing what they should be doing in Quidditch.
But also, why are you standing still?
Yeah, but the thing wasn't meant to be going after Oliver. I know he was just in the way, but I think it would have still avoided him. So I didn't like that. Did you have anything else you wanted to mention in this section?
I was going to say, as far as Ginny not being as much in the movie, when I went to Dragon Con and I got to see Bonnie Wright, she was mentioning they had, because, Chamber of Secrets was like her big movie. She got to like be in it more, but they had filmed stuff like showing Ginny like killing the roosters and like
twisting their heads off,
doing things that Tom Riddle told her to do. Cut it all out. I feel like so many things that Ginny does throughout the whole series gets cut for the sake of time, but then at the sacrifice of her character, and then people being like, where did this random romance come from that we see develop over a series of books? But I did think it was fun too. She remembered how to do the like parcel tongue, so she like did it for everybody.
Oh, and I thought you were saying in the movie.
No. At the convention, she like did. I can't do it, but like.
Oh, so she really did do it for some scenes.
Yeah, she did. Like I guess they should had her do it like 100 times. She'd probably never forget that. But
very cool. I always use that as defense for Ron. Because in book 7 he uses parcel tongue to get in, and he's like, Harry. I heard him sleep.
I listened.
It's like, hey, maybe the Weasleys are just parcel. The most Gryffindor family around. All right, now enough of the sad movie changes that we don't like. Let's go to the happies. Let's go to the goods. Our favorite magical creature / item. So again, in this section, we can talk about a whole plethora of things of whether it was an animal that appeared. I told you guys it could even be a normal animal. It doesn't need to be a magical animal.
A squirrel walked by.
It's like at the beginning of Lord of the Rings. If you've ever read the book, in the very first chapter in Lord of the Rings, it says that some fox,
it was a fox,
that crossed the road and looked at them and thought, "What an odd thing! What a weird wizard!" And then the fox wandered off.
Hobbits. He's like, "Why are there hobbits walking around here?"
Yeah, and then
this
he goes
far
off.
Out.
And then there's never anything else like that in the rest of the books of a random animal's perspective, or that they are capable of intelligence.
That's hilarious.
Well, the horses, but anyway, I would say my favorite creature in all of book 2. Drum roll, please. I know everybody's waiting for it. It's Fang. I love Fang. Fang is my favorite creature in this, favorite animal in this book. So in the Aragog chapter, he's so cute. Like at the beginning of it, when they go to the cabin, it says he's barking, and to shut him up, they give him the like treacle tart or whatever it is and it shuts his teeth, and so he's not.
That's where it was. It was the treacle tart.
Oh no!
He's not able to open up he's not able to bark anymore. And then whenever they go outside, Harry says, "Come on, Fang," and he goes out there. It says he runs to the nearest tree, pees on it, like I said, it lifts his leg. And then when they get captured, poor little boy's yelling and yelping. And then when they're in the car, it says and the car makes it back. Well, before that, I just like how Harry always mentions grab Fang, and Ron's like on it. So that's Ron's role in that chapter. Got him. And then whenever they make it back, Fang is jumping at the windows like, let me out. And as soon as they let him out, it says he runs back to Hagrid's hut and hides in his basket. So he's my favorite in this book. Somebody will have to feed Fang while I'm gone. And then honorable mention favorite, I would say was, actually I won't say it in case you guys say it. So
Okay.
your favorite.
I picked an item, and it is the Sword of Gryffindor.
Ooh.
I just think it is very cool and mystical. I like swords. I like swords. I have a tattoo of a sword.
What sword?
It's just a sword.
Okay.
Generic.
Well, I didn't know if it was like
it's
the shards of Narsil or something like that.
No, I've seen those. They're cool though. I like that it presents itself in the way that it does, which is so kind of like weird, like comes out of a hat. But it's like true Gryffindor style. Harry pulls it out, very brave. It just gives me Gryffindor imagery of bravery and fighting this monster with a sword, not a wand.
Did you? Well, that's a good call out too. Did you, when you were younger, have the sword? Like, did you get the little plastic sword that they sold?
I wish.
I had one, and I remember as a kid I loved it. I thought, man, this is so cool. Me. And listeners, that was me swinging my sword in case you didn't know. But
It was very scary.
yeah, they felt threatened. I don't dislike the sword now, but the sword is weird to me now because it's very tiny. Like if you actually see it,
like it's kid size.
yeah, and not just like the one that I bought as a kid, but actually in the movies.
Oh, it's like thin,
and the replica,
right?
it's very thin and it's short. I was like, that's like Needle from Game of Thrones. Like,
Yeah.
it's a tiny sword. The rubies are sick though.
Not like the one I see over there in the corner of this room.
That's right. That's a Witcher sword right there, sir.
A big sword.
My wife got it for me.
Nice.
Jonathan?
I think my favorite thing is the diary.
Ooh, you freak.
Hey, I think it's a cool concept. For one, just like kind of the mechanics of it, where you write and it writes back, and that kind of like as you give yourself to it gains control over you.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a cool concept that introduces some interesting things going on.
I mean, it's real world application of you can show attachment to inanimate objects.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also just think it's cool, again, spoilers, as being a Horcrux and actually having some function and more magic wrapped up in it that is like facilitated and enabled by the fact that it is a Horcrux that like gives it that power. Because most of the other Horcruxes is like, it's just something. It's just something. But here it's like, there was some creativity. There was like, oh, I'm going to embody my soul in like a way and that has a mechanism to like return me to a bodily form again. Like, and I just think it's a very cool thing as a concept, as the way that it drives the plot of the book.
Excuse me, I'm not yawning at you. I'm very tired. Boring. No, yeah, it's a great thing.
Snoozeville up in here.
I was also having this thought because I was thinking about the book and I was like, it's interesting that we're introduced to Horcruxes like this, but this Horcrux has such a like bigger presence than the other ones. Like the locket, I think, is the second biggest, but this one has an actual physical.
I would argue that
form.
Harry's the biggest.
Well, okay, you know what I mean. And I was kind of going through the timeline of like Tom Riddle to Voldemort, and I was like, I wonder if it's because is this the first one that he made, or was that the ring?
The ring was the first one.
The ring was the 1st one? Because to me, I'm like, it would make sense if the first one he made had the biggest piece of his like soul, because the more he fractures it, the less of him he can give.
Well, the ring does. I mean, the ring is what kills Dumbledore.
That is true.
You know, so that had to be some pretty powerful magic.
I'm just wondering the timeline, because it's like this one has such a power to almost bring him back. It's like that's just crazy.
Fascinating.
I know.
Fascinating.
So I like the diary. I think it's pretty good. And it's like, you know, be careful what or who you're giving yourself to.
Yeah.
You know,
don't accept all cookies.
Yeah. Only necessary
cookies. And then quick shout out for me to Hedwig, because I loved how petty she was in this book.
Yeah.
It takes her months to forgive.
6 months to forgive Harry after what happened. And I love that line when she flies back in and, you know, gives him a little playful nibble, and he goes, "Are you talking to me now?" It's very cute. I love that moment. Moving on to favorite characters. So again, you can say your favorite, have an honorable mention, but just favorite character of the book. I've went back and forth between these two, and it's the ones we've already said a lot: Lockhart and Ron. Those are my absolute two favorite characters. I'm going to say it's Lockhart for this book, just because of how funny he was, the good character relief. And I made this point last episode, but what I found very interesting was when he had his memory erased, I thought, you know, if Lockhart were able to start over again and not have this web of lies controlling him, I think this is the kind of guy he would be. You know, because he's very humble when he has it. That pride doesn't stay with him. They say, "Professor," and he goes, "Me? I must have been a terrible professor." You know, so he's even humble, and I like him a lot, and I think he's my favorite character of this book. So, Jonathan,
I wanted to go a little off maybe the beaten path, which is not crazy, but I think Ginny in this book, I'm going to say, is my favorite, because you get the little breadcrumbs, and I think it's a really interesting, just the way that it's dropped, and it's like
almost at the beginning of every other chapter.
She loves cats, you know, that's why she's upset at Mrs. Norris. But I think it's cool. Like, the reason why she ends up in all of this is like she stands up to Harry. That's what like sets off. I mean, not to Harry. She stands up for Harry to Malfoy. And it's like, that's what starts the interaction that ends her up with the diary. And, you know, Riddle says he puts motives on Ginny when she steals the diary back. And my own headcanon, perhaps, I'm going to say I don't agree with his motives. He's like, oh, she was afraid that you were going to find out what she'd been writing or who had done this. Like, I feel like she knew what it was and what it did to her. And she didn't want that to happen to anyone else. Yeah. She didn't want that to happen to Harry. That's my headcanon reason for why she stole it back. Rather than just being like,
I'm sticking to it.
I mean, I think there's room for it.
Yeah.
I do, because it's like, what, are we going to trust Riddle to say the truth?
Heck no.
No.
He is a liar.
So, and then even like the fact that she's actually gets herself to a place where she's going to tell, gets interrupted by that.
Oh yeah,
Percy.
That's one of
Percy.
That's one of my favorite moments of the book, though. Whenever they finally do ask her about it, she's like, "Oh yeah,
oh yeah."
He was kissing.
So I don't know. I think there's a lot of interesting things to think about, and like good subtle characterization that happens in her through that, to like really think about the weight of coming to these realizations and realizing that she's just this little girl that's been thrown into this, and he's like, oh, I don't remember what I did.
Just
like,
cool.
What's going on? And yeah, I think it's good. And I think it's also just a good picture of like the way that evil attacks the vulnerable and the innocent. And it's like Ginny is just this innocent,
Emily's getting down with what you're saying.
innocent, vulnerable girl. And it's like, what is going on? Like all of this is victimizing her. And I don't know. I just like the whole subtle backstory and to think about all of that went on there. I think it leaves a lot of room for that.
My favorite thing that you said was this happened to her because she stood up for Harry. I like that. I never considered that before. That's the reason that she gets singled out of that, or that's the end that Malfoy has to drop the book in, is like she steps forward and is defending. And so he's like, you're close. And drops the book in her cauldron.
I think his target was one of Arthur's kids, though, because he really wanted to get him.
For the Muggle Protection Act, the MPA.
Yeah, I was like, there's politics in here. Like, there's some stuff going on in the background.
Your favorite character, Emily?
Mine, I'm gonna go basic again and say Ron.
Mm-hmm.
I think because Ron. Wan, because there's
Did you see, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
The child actors in the new series, they're now starting to comment on Instagram on like the Harry Potter posts.
Oh.
And so in one of the more recent ones, the Harry Potter page, the official Harry Potter page, posted the different Harry Potter characters and their names in other languages. And the girl that's cast as Lavender Brown says, like, little tiny girl, she said in the comments, my Wan.
Oh, so cute. Well, yes, it is Wan. I think Ron and I have a complicated relationship in the later books because he does a lot of things, and I understand why he does them, but like he frustrates me. I'm not happy about it, exactly. Mm-hmm. But in this book, he's just MVP for me. He's funny. He sees through Gilderoy from the get-go. Is like, this guy is such a cornball, dude. Like, what are y'all talking about? And I like seeing the dynamic where Hermione's not there and him and Harry have to kind of be like, all right, it's the two of us. We've got to do this. And like you said, he had to kind of like grin and bear it through the spiders. And he has so many lines in this book that I think I just really liked and resonated with or just laughed at. And then, the next book, we see some dynamics coming. I just like that they're doing their thing, and Hermione's not there because she's petrified versus like them all being mad at each other in turn, like the third book, which stresses me out the whole time.
Yeah, I think you've convinced me. I think I'm switching to Ron as well.
I will say Gilderoy was my honorable mention because he's hilarious and he's such like a mark of this book for me that he adds just a whole element. I love him, even if he's insufferable. He's like, I love to hate him. Mm-hmm. And I do. And it's not
I love to hate Umbridge, because I don't love to. I just hate Umbridge. I just hate her. But I do enjoy Lockhart a lot. Like, Umbridge makes me not want to read that book or watch that movie, or at least when I read that book, I sometimes like skip those parts. Like, not you.
She's aggravating. Yeah.
But with Lockhart, I go, man, I wish he was in this book more.
Yeah.
But on that note, let's go ahead and move to, you said you think of Lockhart. Final question for our episode. When you think about book 2, so this listeners, I know this is kind of silly because I did not ask them. I wanted to be a little more on the fly, a little more genuine of a take. When you think of book 2, what is it that you think of? And so I'll go first, just to give you guys a little more time to think. The thing that I think of when I reminisce on book 2, movie 2, all that, and the Chamber of Secrets, when I reminisce on that, what comes to my mind the most, 2 things, actually 3 things. One is the Death Day party, obviously. Love the Death Day party. And with the book, I think, I love that. And in the movie, I think, they didn't include that. Mm-hmm. I also love so much. It's definitely top 5 moments in the series for me. The final night, when the celebration night, when Hagrid comes back, when they're rejoicing, when Hermione comes up to him. Like, I read the whole paragraph in the previous episode, so I won't read it here, but I just love that section of Harry had been to a lot of feasts, but he couldn't remember anyone like this one, of he couldn't decide what was the best part, whether it was Zachariah Smith coming up and apologizing, or sorry, JFF, Justin Finch Fletchley coming up and apologizing and shaking his hand, or Hermione hugging him, or Hagrid appearing at 3:30 a.m. I remember all of it. Like, it's a wonderful, they were in their pajamas, they're eating food, the exams are canceled. It's such a fun paragraph. And I think I want to live in that moment. And I think about, like, when I was a kid, some of the funnest nights, church lock-ins and, or after you win the championship for a sporting event, and basking in that. It's a basking paragraph. I love that. And the last thing I think about, probably the one that most people mention, is that this is the setup of the conflict for the series of Mudblood's, Purebloods, Voldemort's motivation for why he wants to be evil. That's presented in this book. So that's what I think of when I think of book 2. Emily.
Oh my gosh.
Yo.
May. I think for me, when I think of Chamber of Secrets, I really think of, I get like a lot of imagery and a lot of emotion. It's not like this specific moment, but I think of like the Chamber of Secrets has been opened, enemies of the air everywhere, plastered on the wall, and Harry hearing this voice go, kill, 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 through the walls, and no one else hears it. And I just remember being a kid and reading that for the first time, and it's like nighttime, and I have my little bedside lamp on, and I'm like, oh, I'm scared. Oh, I'm afraid.
So spooky.
This is spooky, and I love it. And I think I ate this book up because the like, what is it? What is it? And the anticipation and the mystery. And I think that's really what I get is
looks at the cover. What is it?
What could it possibly be? Okay, listen. But you know what I mean. It's like, how do we get to this point where they figure it out? And like, it's just a fun mystery book where I think everything else kind of, you already know going in what's gonna happen later on, or like who the bad guy is. Like,
they're usually twists
there are
afterwards,
some
not so much mysteries.
Yeah, but this is like you're putting pieces of a puzzle together and you don't have all the pieces. And it's very like, it's a very sleuthy book. And I think that's really what I get. Like the image of that wall, and then the chamber itself, like the Chamber of Secrets, so cool. That must have been such a cool set for the movie. I always think of that.
I like that take. Very good. Jonathan, when you think of book 2, what do you think of?
Oh, Barry. He asked this so that he could get an honest take. And I don't know if that's what he wants.
Just off the dome.
No, I mean,
reflecting on
all
book
the
2,
things that I've been thinking of, I'm like, how many tree trunk sized holes are there to exit the pipes?
Right?
That's one of my questions. I feel like I'm a very critical.
Plot holes when
I mean, that's just where my mind.
I thought you were going to say, I think of the Whomping Willow.
No.
When you said tree
I'm
trunk.
just like, that's just where my mind goes. But I do think it's cool if I want to give something more positive rather than rattling off all the other things that came up in my head.
Well, real quick to address that, in case this is somebody's first time listening.
Okay.
I did have an answer to that in one of my episodes. I forget which one, but I think they have tents that are bigger on the inside. They have trunks that are like that. Newt's briefcase. I don't think it's not a stretch for me that this magical beast could move through this magical castle's pipes. I think that and that's what you can do with a lot of the
he can change his form.
He could change his form, or the pipes themselves change. And
engorgement charm.
Yeah. And so I think that this series, the beautiful thing is with 90% of plot holes, you can just go
magic.
The SpongeBob imagination meme. Magic. So
yeah. Okay. But on a lighter note than that, I do think it's cool. Like, this is a good, I don't know. I feel like the end of book 1, you've got Harry, and it's like he accomplishes something. And it's like, wow, now I'm maybe famous for more than just my scar. But also it's like, did he really do much? I mean, it was kind of just like, oh, well, I happened to be able to touch him, and that really was bad for him. And it's you know,
It is an easy out.
and also, not to I see, I'm so critical. It's like, if he just would have not showed up, Quirrell never would have been able to get the stone at all because Dumbledore had it well protected.
Mhm.
So it's like, to me, this is a lot more of a victory for Harry.
We'll stop right there.
Okay.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
I never even considered that Harry being there
Actually could have been the impetus to get around Dumbledore's protection.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never even thought of that. That's crazy.
He
That's
would have
like,
stood at the mirror
yeah, that's like
until
something.
Dumbledore came.
IDK, I can't get it. I don't know what you want me to do.
That's so crazy. Oh my goodness. That makes me think of somebody told me that in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indy's role did nothing. Like the Nazis still would have shown up, still would have found the Ark, still would have been killed by the magic of the Ark, and that would have been it.
He just was a passenger.
Like his role
You're so
literally
right.
did nothing in that movie. And so that's what this is giving me vibes of.
Well, yeah. So
Not to shout
to
at
me,
everybody.
this is like a good moment for Harry where he solved the mystery, and like he actually did that, and he is showing this bravery, and yes, he's got help, but to me this is like the first real victory where Harry did something that's like, no, that's heroic, that's awesome, you stood up to this, you figured it out, you went and saved your friend's sister, you know. So I think that's the first of Harry really doing it.
He's doing the thing.
He's doing it.
Real quick to shout it out, I think another thing that comes to my mind with this book is it's not Hogwarts without you, Hagrid. Especially after Robbie's passing.
Yeah.
And then the music, he hugs him, the music swells, everybody claps. It's beautiful. Or the moment, like you said earlier, of don't you think on it, Hermione. Don't you think on it one bit. So good.
The tender Hagrid.
Yeah, tender hags.
I love tender hag.
Everybody needs a tender hag. Well, anyway, do we have any more thoughts before we wrap this up? Because that's pretty much all I had.
I do. I thought of another quote while I was sitting here, and I was like, why did I not include that? And it's when the twins are like, make way for the heir of Slytherin.
Yes.
Seriously, evil wizard coming by. Like, that's just so fun.
They're like, this
and
is
so
ludicrous.
good.
Of course
And
it's not him.
The twins are just awesome
Yeah.
in their role, and like when they're cheering up Ginny with the weird turning themselves hairy and such, and
Yeah.
they're just a lot of fun.
Very good. Emily, did you want to add anything else?
I think we've summed it all up.
We really have. We've been there
Every
and back
little
again. You know, we went down to that chamber. All right, we killed the Batholith. I've noticed sometimes I say basilisk, like I say an extra K, basilisk, and then it's not right. Basilisk. So sorry, listeners.
You're a
to annoy you,
professional,
right?
You got to get these things right.
Come on.
We went down to the chamber. We killed the basilisk. We came back up. We grabbed that foxtail and got it out of there. And you know what, guys? This was amazing. It was just like magic. But everybody, listen, listeners, thank you for listening. Enjoyed having you on. As always, I got nothing else.
Please email him.
Oh yeah, email me.
It makes him so happy.
But you have no idea. I said that in the most recent episode that came out of. I say sometimes, hey, people are writing into me. That's kind of a lie. Nobody had ever really written into me except my friends texting me. So that's what I considered writing in. But I had my first email the other day, and I was like, whoa. So, yeah, please write in. I'm going to do a best of book. Or not best. We already just did that. I'm going to do a mailbag episode if there's enough mail. And so I said in an earlier episode that would be this episode. It's not, because we already just did this.
Psych! We didn't do it.
It's going to be in 2 weeks. So once this episode comes out in 2 weeks, next week, listeners, you will hear the Jeopardy episode, Book 2 Jeopardy, where Jessie will defend her title against Tori from Potter Revisited podcast. She was on one of the previous episodes of this season. She's incredibly knowledgeable about the series, and she's even podcasted through it. So it's going to be really cool to see them compete against one another.
Ooh.
The week after that, Emily and I will be back to discuss a fan fiction.
Yay!
Whoa.
What fan fiction? I don't know, but Future Barry's going to come back in and say what fanfic it is. But we will be doing a fanfic episode in between book 2 and book 3. And so that episode will have a portion of a mailbag to it where we will answer any questions you have, things you want to talk about, or comments, all that stuff. But anyway, thanks for checking it out. Look forward to seeing you next week for Jeopardy! All right, goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Clap.
Yippee!
Yeah, it's a wrap. Good stuff, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening to Retold. Artwork for this podcast was created by Rachel Ortlip. Music was created by Taylor Jarvis. And the Retold podcast is produced by me. That's right, I made this.